recorded live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Trivial Warfare. More than just a pub quiz, Trivial Warfare is your gateway to a worldwide trivia community. Join your hosts, Jonathan.
We just described Ric Flair as Neanderthal Man and Planet of the Apes.
Chris.
Yo, we going down to Sesame Street.
That's your impression of hardcore rap?
Carmela.
That would irritate the hell out. I'm like, I just want my groceries. My ice cream is melting.
Ben.
4 halogens in that list. Oh my God.
You were like, it's not the halogens. I'm like, no, Ben, no.
Those damn halogens got me again.
And the rest of the Trivial Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Trivial Warfare. We are the podcast that takes the pub quiz out of the pub and brings it home to you. My name is Jonathan and I am here today with Mr. Ben Young in the studio. Hello, Ben.
Yeah.
You're here.
I am here.
You mentioned Valentine's Day dinner.
I did.
Yes. How was that?
Amazing. We went to a high-end steakhouse. Mm-hmm. Had the most expensive steak I've ever had in my life.
Was it worth it?
It was really good. Went to see a movie, Death on the Nile. Very good. Highly recommend. And just enjoyed our time at home. And then I had a full night's sleep last night. Mm-hmm. So I'm caffeinated. I'm 100%. It's amazing. Feel great.
I am jealous in so many ways. Oh, man. Well, it is good to have you here. We have some great guests today. It's going to be a fun show. Chris Scholes is with us today. Now, Chris, I might have pronounced your name right. I didn't ask ahead of time. Correct me, please. Scholes or Scholes?
Scholes.
Scholes.
Scholes. Well, this is my second time on. You missed it the first time. You missed the second time. Next time, Jonathan.
No way.
You are there.
It's the CH, man. I gotta. It's like school.
Yeah.
It's not shul. It's school. All right.
Or schedule.
Oh God! It's all the CHs, I guess. Now, Chris, it's good to have you here, my friend.
Thank you, sir. It's good to be here.
Absolutely. Mr. Rob Burgess is with us today. Hello, Rob.
Jonathan, my friend, Ben, everybody, it's so glad to be back.
Now, Rob, you've already broken the rules. You broke the muting rule.
I did.
I
was brewing a cup of coffee. I apologize. I didn't.
It's so disappointing.
I didn't want to walk over Chris.
That's right. And Taylor Ferebee is with us today. Hello, Taylor.
Hello.
Now, please tell me I pronounced your last name right.
You did. I usually get Freebie, Ferebee.
Oh, Taylor Ferebee. That's fun.
Throw the E's around. There's more E's than anything else.
A lot of E's. So it's great to have all of you here. I want to get to know each of you a little bit better. Chris, we'll start with you. Tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
I am a dermatologist. I live in Twin Falls, Idaho, which is kind of south central Idaho. And something fun about myself, this past weekend, I got to escape the cold and go play golf on the Oregon coast at Bandon Dunes, which was absolutely wonderful.
Are you saying that Oregon is escaping the cold, though?
We played 4 days, and on Sunday it was 63 and sunny without wind, right on the ocean.
That's freaking brilliant.
Look, you guys are in Florida, so you don't understand escaping the cold.
No, you're right.
Anything is better.
Preach.
It is the winter. I am playing golf in a beautiful place in shirt sleeves. Absolutely fantastic.
So it is not the winter of his discontent. No, it's a good winter.
I like it.
I love it. All right. Well, it's great to have you here, Chris. Rob, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
Well, I just moved to North Carolina from Las Vegas, Nevada. I am a political consultant, so I help people get elected to office all over the country. And something fun about myself, I used to be a law enforcement officer.
Oh, what kind of law enforcement officer?
I was a sheriff's deputy.
A sheriff's deputy. Was a small town sheriff or what kind of Barney Fife kind of action here?
No, I actually kept the bullets in my gun. But no, we were a small county in southern Indiana. So
very cool. Well, that is awesome. We are super glad that you're here. Hopefully none of us will do. It's funny. He can't be a deputy anymore because he's a rule breaker. You see?
Mm-hmm. I just break all the rules.
I wonder. Yeah. All right, Taylor, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Taylor. I am from the great state of Virginia, originally, Hampton, go 757. I am located in Ithaca, New York. I'm a PhD candidate. I study math and corn. And something fun about myself, I've fallen down a mountain and a pyramid.
Whoa.
Wow.
Okay, now
that was a lot.
you're giving me a lot to work with here. Okay, let's go back, though. Let's go back first. Math and corn.
Yes.
Please say more.
Okay, so my background is in mathematics. I have a master's in mathematics from Clemson University, and there I studied the genetics of plants, and I tried to use the language of math to explain biological processes, make a better corn so that we can have nice, nutritious food for the rest of the world.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
So all the non-GMO people hate you right now, basically.
Yeah. Probably.
But math and food.
I am pro-GMO.
Yeah.
You're not good with food and love?
No, but food and math, those are two of my favorite things. So, those completely mix in my mind. Yes, absolutely.
I'm watching Ben scribble on his sheet. Okay, food and math. Food and math.
I was like, no, I literally wrote down math and corn. I'm like, if Jonathan doesn't mention this, I will.
How can you not? Okay, now, fall down a mountain, fall down a pyramid. These are strong statements. What happened?
I'm clumsy, and I probably should never be allowed hiking. But I fell down Mount Fuji when I was in Japan because I tripped and I rolled a few times. So the joke is I fell down Mount Fuji. And then when I was in Mexico, we went up a few pyramids. And once again, I tripped and I fell down a pyramid.
Oh, my God. Which one was a further fall?
Probably the Mexican pyramid, which is terrible because it's all rock.
I was about to say it's steps, isn't it?
Very painful.
Yes, it is steps.
God. It's like falling down the stairs, but the stairs are everywhere.
And they're made out of stone.
Right. There's no railing.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, I think we can all tell that we're going to have a great time today. Mm-hmm. Ben, I think you need to warm us up, though. It's time for Warm It Up, Chris.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TWA, and that's Chris. And sometimes Jonathan.
Okay, so I went to the internet. This is brought to you by Ben today, by the way. And I found a site called wearethemighty.com. They do a lot of things around military history. And they posted an article this past summer where they did statistical analysis on the greatest military generals in history. This is going to be a top 10 list. So we'll kind of go a few rounds here and see how many of this top 10 that each of you can name. Now, it's not completely arbitrary. I will tell you that their rankings are based a lot on what type of advantage or disadvantage that the general had in a war based on what they won. So if a general, for example, had a 2-to-1 disadvantage and ended up winning, that scored a lot higher points. They also looked at the number of battles that these generals fought. Just to let you know that there was some actual objectivity that was included in this list. All right, so we're going to go around to see how many you can name. We'll start with Jonathan.
I have to start with Napoleon.
Napoleon's number 1 on the list.
Yeah. It's crazy how frequently he won.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was amazing until they caught on to his strategy, and then it was like, yep, we got you now, you average height man. All right, Chris.
How about Erwin Rommel?
Rommel's not in the top 10, unfortunately.
Really?
Wow.
He was the next guy on my list.
One of his colleagues, I think is on this list, though. Rob.
I mean, Alexander? Would he qualify as a general?
Alexander the Great is number 10 on this list.
Yeah.
All right, Taylor?
Not sure if he was a general, but is MacArthur on there?
MacArthur's not on the list, unfortunately.
He is a general.
He is a general, yes. You are correct about that.
He had a higher opinion of himself than this list did.
Makes sense.
Indeed.
Yes.
Probably a lot of those generals do. That's probably the case of most of them. All except 10. Jonathan.
I'm going to try Julius Caesar.
Julius Caesar's number 2 on the list. Good job.
I got 1 and 2.
You got 1 and 2. He's rolling.
The history background.
There you go. All right, Chris.
How about Monty Montgomery from World War II?
Montgomery's not on the list. These are good guesses y'all are making, though. All right, Rob.
How about Genghis Khan?
Genghis Khan is surprisingly not on this list.
You know what?
I think it's because he had
racism.
Advantage. Racism. Let me check the list. How many white men are on this list? Let me
Is Attila the Hun on the list? Because if he's not, it's racism.
Well, I mean, so
Genghis Khan conquered the known world.
So again, if they had an advantage numbers wise,
they didn't.
It would be ranked lower,
but they didn't.
Okay, I didn't make the list.
They had an advantage in technology because those dudes, technology meaning horses and bows, they were second to none at their horsemanship.
We're definitely going to post the link so that y'all can give this website your shenanigans.
I love it.
Taylor, I think, did we go to you for this round?
Not yet.
Okay.
George Washington?
Washington's not on this list. Not on this list.
Okay.
There's, you have to think this list spans from ancient Greece all the way to the 20th century, and there's only 10 names. So, and it's all over the world.
I mean, they could have just made a list of Roman generals, but we don't know their names, But there's a lot of them. There's a lot of wars.
Yeah, indeed. All right, Jonathan, you're up.
I'm going to go with Hannibal.
Hannibal Barca is number 6 on the list.
All right.
Good job. Yeah. Well, taking elephants over the Alps, I guess that'll get you pretty high.
I know nobody's going to guess it. Is Hamilcar on there as well?
No.
That was going to be my next
Was it really? Well, I just saved you because he's not on the list.
Great.
All right, Chris, you're next.
I don't know how they're defining general, but I'm going to say Geronimo.
Geronimo's not on the list.
Okay.
Not on the list.
Cool guess.
These are all great guesses, though. Rob.
I'm going to say Cornwallis. I know that he was a British general that helped conquer the known world for the British Empire before he came over to the United States for our Revolutionary War.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, he's not on this list. But again, these are great generals y'all are naming. Taylor.
Pancho Villa?
Not on the list, unfortunately.
I don't know. He might be a general. They typically call him a warlord.
Yeah, I don't know if seemed like it would be kind of the same.
Yeah, fair enough.
So what we'll do one more round and then we'll start working together.
Let's do us a favor. I think that I think that we would all just give us either like a time period or a war that would help us to take guesses in the right areas.
Okay. I guess the most obvious clue that I'll put on here would be
we got any U.S. Civil War people in there?
One U.S. Civil War general.
I was thinking Robert E. Lee.
Not Robert E. Lee.
All right.
Not Robert E. Lee.
Chris.
It wasn't me. I wasn't there.
We can work together. We can work together at this point.
I'd probably say Stonewall Jackson.
It's a good guess.
Nope.
Is it Grant?
No?
It's Grant.
Really?
Grant.
Wow. Okay.
Really?
That seems like that's overrating a little bit.
Now the site does give justification for this. I didn't print all of that out, but they do have justifications for how they calculated this.
Is
I think it'd be McClellan.
Yeah, that's a good guess too. Is Patton on there?
Grant is the only American on this list.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
That took my next guess out. So.
Yeah.
Another name on this list would be someone who was instrumental in the spread of Islam in the 7th century.
Muhammad?
Muhammad?
How about Saladin?
I have his name as Khalid ibn al-Walid.
Not familiar with this man.
Yeah, I had never heard of him before.
Okay, I don't know the guy's name, but the 300.
Oh, Leonidas.
Leonidas, yeah.
There are no more Romans or
Greeks
on this list.
Okay.
So I could tell you I have I believe he was from Great Britain from the 19th century.
Lord Nelson?
Was a Napoleon, I think he was an opponent to Napoleon.
The Duke of Wellington?
I have his name as Wellesley.
Not familiar with Mr. Wellesley.
Not a clue.
Wow.
That's Westley.
I didn't realize how obscure this list was going to end up being.
Duke
of Wellington. Duke of Wellington, I would accept. He was the first Duke
he was Napoleon's opponent at Waterloo.
How about Yamato, from the admiral from Japan in World War II?
I don't have him on the list, but I do have a Japanese general from the 16th century.
From the 16th century. No, I don't even know.
He was known as the Tiger of Kai. His name is Takeda Shingen.
Nope.
Okay.
I must have skipped a lot more history classes in high school than I thought I did.
I would say, see, so here's the thing. Here's one of those instances where Ben not being a good trivia player, it helps me not know whether something is a good trivia question or not, because I haven't heard of half these people, but that doesn't mean that there's not a relevant question.
So I think that what we've learned is that this is a case of Ben murdering a warm-it-up Chris.
Ben murders warm-it-up Chris. Where is Chris? All right, so we named most people on the list. The last two I had was Frederick the Great.
Okay.
And then the Russian general from World War II you weren't thinking about was Gregory or Gorgy Zhukov.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Zhukov. Okay.
And that was your very well murdered warm up Chris question.
Yeah, that was. I wish I could give you a mulligan. Was Mulligan on the list? Francis.
Yeah, halfway through that, I was like, "How long would it take for me to research another one?" Chris question.
That's never.
How far down that list do you have to go to get to an Irish general?
Right.
General Mulligan.
Yeah. Indeed.
Well, guys, so that was Warm Up Chris. Thank you, Ben. This is going to be episode number 362. This is on the main feed, and we are pumped about it. If you love Trivial Warfare and you think to yourself, where could I get more of it? In fact, I see there's a lot of episodes missing from the feed. Where's episode 50 and 101 and 160? They are available to our patrons. You go to trivialwarfarearmy.com, sign up as I believe, sergeant or higher. I think it's either sergeant or lieutenant. It's the $5 a month or higher, and you will get access to an absolute ton of some of our best shows. So that's trivialwarfarearmy.com. And today's matchup is going to be Chris and Rob versus Taylor and Jonathan. Ben is hosting. Hopefully his game will be better than his warm-it-up Chris. And it's time to play the game.
Play us. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on. I feel more confident about these questions than I did Woman of Chris. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Round 1, question 1. Your category is current events. In early December 2021, President Tayyip Erdogan, Erdogan, announced a change in the official spelling of what country of which he is the head of state. And, for 2 bonus points, correctly spell the new name.
Say the whole thing again.
In early December 2021, President Tayyip Erdogan announced a change in the official spelling of what country of which he is the head of state. And, for 2 bonus points, correctly spell the new name.
Oh, by the way, shout out to the bonus brigade.
You want to lock in, Rob? Okay.
So you're locked in?
Yep.
Both the country and the bonus?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right. So, Taylor, we both agreed Turkey. Erdogan is Turkey. Spelling. I don't know. Did he go from Turkey to Turkey? Turkay? Turkey? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Is it a different name or is it just a variation?
I would think it would just be a variation on something that's commonly spelled 2 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I threw out originally Kiev and Kiev, because I know that there was some, or I've had arguments with people recently about how that's spelled.
Mm-hmm.
But you are right. That is not in Turkey.
Right. And if it's the country name itself, is there a variation of Turkey? I mean, is it like TER or TER T-U-U-R with an umlaut over the second U. Like, I mean, I have no idea, right? So let's not, if you don't know, then
Leave it to Jonathan to bring out the umlaut.
I always think of turkey as Germanic. Yeah, that's good.
right?
I think it's turkey with the soft J.
It's
Turkey with the sauce.
it's turkey yerky.
It's got that silent pound sign in there.
Do you want to say turkey, T-E-R-K-A-Y?
Let's go.
Sure. Turkey.
Turkey.
Hey.
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 Wow.
Hey.
All right, Chris and Rob.
We also went with turkey, right, Chris?
Yeah, both of us were on that, but we did argue about where to put the hashtag in the right spelling.
We did. But we ended up going with Turkiy for the spelling.
So both teams got the correct answer for the main. It is turkey. And the official spelling was changed to Turkiye.
Oh.
You had a silent E at the end there. Almost got it.
Good job, Rob.
As usual, your second category in round one is Ben Murders a Hit.
That's right.
Okay. Name this 1988 mega hit, reaching number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100.
It's intentional. It's intentional.
Of course it is. Now, do you want to bet money before I read the lyrics if this is a mega hit?
You have no definition.
I'm asking you.
No, I'm not betting money on a subjective standard.
Hear what I'm saying. Are you willing to bet money that you would agree that this is a mega hit after my reading?
No.
Okay, that's fine. So it's based on your definition of mega hit.
Yes.
Yeah, you still don't want to bet the money.
No.
2 bags of potato chips. All right, fine. Yeah, y'all see what I'm doing. Okay, here are your lyrics. So they came in to the outway. It was Sunday. What a black day. Mouth to mouth resuscitation. Sounding heartbeats. Intimidation. If it's too obscure, I will offer a hint to both teams.
This is one of those songs where literally, as he's saying a lyric, I can predict what the next lyric's going to be because it's familiar, but I have no idea what the answer is. Give me the first part of the question again, like the year and the...
Name this 1988 mega hit.
1988.
Yep. Reaching number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100. And if both teams like, I will give you a hint.
Taylor asked me to do something, Ben.
Oh, she's got meow meows.
Oh.
Meow, meow.
Okay.
It was an
I'm
insta-get
just
for
gonna
her.
note that this is probably the second time ever out of all of the episodes I've listened to that I've gotten one.
Oh,
Nice.
Okay.
Wow. So does that mean you all are locked in, Jonathan?
We are locked in. And I should have taken the bet because Ben would have owed me potato chips.
So you don't agree this is a mega hit?
It's a very well-known song. It was not a hit.
Okay. Even though your partner got it on the Insta-get, it's not a mega hit. Sure.
Very well-known.
All right. Chris and Rob.
So I'm going to preface this, Chris, by saying, and Jonathan has heard me say this before, I'm terrible at music questions, although this is my favorite question of all. Like the Ben Murders a Hit is my favorite category. The only thing, and I will admit I'm using game theory here, I feel like it's Michael Jackson because Ben loves Michael Jackson, but I could not tell you what Michael Jackson song it is because I know like 3 of them, and 2 of them are Thriller.
Thriller, the soundtrack, and Thriller, the video.
Yeah.
By the way,
Thriller Deep Space Nine.
you really didn't murder it, Ben. You know, you murdered the Warm It Up Chris way better than you murdered the hit.
Well, I had to make up for it somewhere.
Oh, man.
There you
You can only have 1 murder per show.
go.
Murderer.
I know I'm going to kick myself when I hear this. I can't. The lyrics follow one another nicely, but I can't put the melody to it.
Yeah, that's where I'm having trouble too. I don't think it's Ben's namesake song. I don't think it's Thriller.
See, and this to me feels more like it's too early, but more like a Red Hot Chili Peppers, Soundgarden, who was around there. It feels like it should be one of those, but I am not.
If you say Nickelback, I'm logging off the show.
I want to bring Nickelback back to everybody. Nickelback has some good stuff. They get too much hate. It's not fair.
Could not tell you a single Nickelback tune.
What did they do except make millions of bros happy, Jonathan?
Oh, well, I mean, hey, somebody's got to make millions of bros happy.
So you don't even think it's Michael Jackson, Chris?
I actually don't, but I got a big old bag of nothing here, and I know I'm going to kick myself when I hear it.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm not a music guy. I'm traditionally terrible at this, and so I have zero thunder. If you think it sounds like Red Hot Chili Peppers, I'm down for that. The only song of theirs that I know is it's Californication, right? But I don't.
Californication's the album. Danny California is the one you're thinking of.
Okay,
I suspect.
Yeah. So if it sounds familiar to you, I'd say let's go with what you've got.
Okay, we'll lock in with Danny California, which is almost a full bag of nothing.
I love that song. It's not only a good song, but it's a good drum song on Rock Band.
Absolutely.
Because it has a pattern, but it's not a boring pattern with the drums. And a lot of times in Rock Band, the pattern for the drums is dot, 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 dot. And it's like, oh, so boring.
Is that the Chili Pepper song or is that something else?
Danny California.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 da, 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 dun, da, 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 dun. That's not the right answer, though. Now, Taylor, take him to school.
I believe this is Smooth Criminal by Indeed the Michael Jackson.
Oh, you're killing me.
Annie, are you okay?
Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?
Ouch. Okay, Rob, you got me.
No, I didn't. I had no thunder.
You said Michael Jackson. When you said Michael Jackson, a part of me was like, oh, crap, he's going to get it.
It is really hard to have a straight face.
Yeah, you did great. And Ben, you got to mix it up, bro.
Well, okay.
Literally, dude's coming on like, I know Ben, it's probably Michael Jackson.
Well, my clue was going to be this song was written by arguably the most famous artist in the history of music. That was going to be my clue.
That's great. That would have been harder, I think, because there'd been an argument then. Okay, is it Michael Jackson? Is it Elvis? Is it Beyonce? Is it the Beatles? Who is this?
Well, I give you that in the year. You should be able to narrow it down pretty close.
That's fair. That is true.
All right, so your correct answer is, so they came into the outway. It was Sunday. What a black day. Mountain power resuscitation, sounding heartbeats, intimidation.
Oh!
It is
Oh!
I don't know how the hell Michael Jackson was able to say mouth-to-mouth resuscitation that fast, but he did it. It is Smooth Criminal.
I love that song. It's so funny because you know for me mega hit is about like how many weeks you were at number one. That's my definition for mega hit. So it's great because I totally understand what you're saying. It's like I love this song and everybody knows this song.
We just have different definitions of the word. That's perfectly fine. All right.
Oh, that's a good one. Michael Jackson's a fun one for Burn Murder's a hit. For Ben Murder's a hit. He had the one that I did a while back with You're a Vegetable. You're a vegetable. They hate you. You're a vegetable.
Now, that was an instigate for me just because, as Rob knows, I love Michael Jackson. All right, your last question round is in college basketball.
Nice.
What women's team lost on February 11th, ending their 145-game conference winning streak? And for 2 bonus points, they were defeated by what school whose men's team won the NCAA championship in 2018?
Lots of meow meows.
Oh, wow.
Oh, boy. So y'all are locked in?
Yes, sir.
You got a main and a bonus?
I hope that's all right, Rob. I got this one.
Yeah, you got the bonus too?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we're locked in.
All right.
So, but you're good. You're good with those, Rob?
I'm good with it.
Okay,
Taylor, are you a college basketball fan?
I know that UConn,
the Lady Huskies
women's team, usually has an amazing women's team. So does Tennessee. I think the answer to the bonus is Villanova.
Oh, okay. So you've got a little bit of something then. Can you tell me this? Help me out here. How many games is in a typical college basketball season, like for women's college basketball? I'm trying to figure out how many seasons we're talking about with 145, because conference wins isn't the same as wins. If there's a 30-game schedule, maybe 15 of those are in conference, and this becomes like a 8 or 9 year streak. But maybe I don't know how many games in a season.
I would say it's 8 or 9 years streak because I remember going to UConn and Tennessee games when I was younger, and it would be like, well, they just won again for the 1000th time.
So what about, obviously UConn stands out as the creme de la creme. I don't know if Tennessee is as successful after Pat Summitt left the program.
True.
But I know that Baylor is a very successful women's college basketball program. They won a national championship recently, maybe 2. They're seen as the team to beat a lot of times. So I'm wondering if it might be Baylor. And you know what? Now, you know what? We have a clue. There's a clue in the bonus. If we know who won the men's championship in 2018, and that would tell us which conference the team is in. Now, I'm not good enough to know who's in what conferences, but that is definitely a hint. Do you think it was Villanova in 2018?
I'm like 62.5% sure.
That's good enough for me. That's better than I can. Anything I give you is going to be less than 62.5%. It'd be 62 at best.
What is that? 5/8 sure?
Because I could just be completely wrong.
But I do agree.
I'm like, that name feels familiar.
I do feel like Villanova won a national championship recently. So I'm down with that. So if it's Villanova, let's just go with that. What conference do you think they are in? Is that like where is Villanova? Is it Philadelphia?
I think it's Philadelphia. So would it be?
So they could be Big East, and UConn could be Big East, couldn't they? UConn, it's like UConn and St. John's and those kind of teams in that conference. Am I making that up?
Then if that's the case, then UConn's going to beat those people.
Yeah, UConn would be better than.
They would beat them.
Yeah. UConn would be a better guess if Villanova's right than possibly Baylor would be. Baylor and Villanova probably aren't in the same conference.
No, I'm pretty sure they're not.
So you know what? Let's say UConn and Villanova.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we're locked in.
Chris and Rob?
That kind of hurt to listen to that whole thing.
Oh, because it was bad or because we got it?
No, because you got there.
Oh, yeah!
UConn has won 145. They've had a bad season this year because probably one of the best players in women's college basketball, Paige Beckers, is out with injury. And they wound up losing to Villanova. So we're locked in with UConn and Villanova.
Holy crap.
Go Baylor. Come on. Go say Baylor.
Baylor, I mean, Ben's going to educate us in a second, but Baylor felt like a really good option.
They're a very good team.
It did feel good. It did feel, you almost had me to switch, but something told me UConn felt to the core.
I mean, in terms of teams that are capable of going on a long conference win streak, Baylor's 100% correct. But if you think about Baylor being in Texas and them being in a conference with Villanova, probably more unlikely than somebody like a UConn. So your correct answer is UConn, and they were defeated by Villanova.
That is tremendous. Taylor, neither one of us knew.
Good job, Taylor.
But we got there, and I'm proud of us.
There.
I'm proud of us.
Yeah, I believe
Villanova is in Philly.
They are in Philly, and I believe both of those teams were part of, there was a schism that happened in the Big East a few years back where all of the Catholic schools, I think, stayed in the Big East, and all of the non-Catholic schools went to a new conference called the American East. I believe that's correct.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
So you were right about the conference. You were wrong about what conference it was, but both of those schools went to that conference.
Is St. John's in that same conference?
I believe they stayed in the Big East, but they were in the same conference before. Yeah.
Cool, man.
So you're right about that.
That's good. Y'all don't know how tenuous this information was in my mind. This comes from 5 years ago, 1 year watching the NCAA tournament and randomly watching or randomly seeing web pages with headlines over the past 10 years. That's God bless it. Okay.
Okay.
At the end of the first round.
Oh,
I jumped on top of you, didn't I? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, you take it.
Jonathan and Taylor lead 32-22 over Rob and Chris.
It's a good game so far.
It is. Your round 2 begins with a question in Disney Junior.
Oh, okay. It's been a while. Sebastian's out of the Disney Junior phase for about 4 years, but I still have it in my soul.
It's in there somewhere. On the Disney show Doc McStuffins, what object does Doc click to bring her toys to life?
I have. I definitely know this, Taylor. I'm going to send it to you.
All right. Jonathan and Taylor locked in. Rob and Chris?
Yeah, Chris, I've got no idea. I've got two young, a young niece and a young nephew, but we watch a lot of Cars and dinosaurs and Sesame Street. We have not broken into Disney Junior yet. I also can't tell you anything about Doc McStuffins. I honestly thought that was Jonathan's nickname.
Doc McStuffins. Holy crap.
If you take it the right way, I like that nickname.
I think you got your show title right there.
So much context.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what
the Scottish lover, Doc McStuffins.
Never seen the show, never heard of the show before Ben just said that. Yeah. So, but he did say brings the toys to life by clicking something. So,
pen.
I was going to say I'm going to put my pen clicks in here. But
oh my God, you bastard!
Oh. You don't even have to edit those out.
Yeah. I've got nothing, so
you could click your heels together. You could. What else could you click?
What about click on the light? Off the light.
You could do that, like a lamp or a light. You could flashlight. You click. I kind of like the idea of like a light or a lamp a lot more than a pen.
Do you want to go with like a lamp or like with a flashlight?
I'm going to say more a lamp, but I'm completely in the dark here. But don't bump. So,
all right,
yeah,
we're gonna lock in with the lamp.
Yeah,
Jonathan Taylor.
All right, so Doc McStuffins was one of my favorites. I really enjoyed it. You learn a decent amount about medicine. The animals are fun. So Doc McStuffins is a young African-American girl whose mom's a doctor, and she plays at being a doctor. And she's a doctor for her toy stuffed animals and all kinds of toys. So in order to make all of these toys come to life in her imagination, she clicks on her toy stethoscope.
That's so cute.
It is so adorable.
Correct answer is stethoscope.
Yes, sir.
2 quick notes about this. You know, when you're raising a black daughter, as I have, and there's a show about a black girl that's a doctor, you force that down their throat whether they want to watch it or not. So
every bit of it.
That was on the TV all the time. And then also years ago, there was an article that said that Doc McStuffin's medical advice is actually more accurate than Dr. Oz. So I just want to throw that out there.
Well, as somebody who has somebody who has an MD after my name, you could set the bar a whole lot higher than Dr. Oz.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Dr. Phil isn't even a doctor, and he gives better medical advice.
Oh, yeah. No, just to throw this out there, in training, I worked with I trained in Philadelphia and worked with several female black dermatologists who were absolutely phenomenal. There's nothing in any particular group that should slow you down. Really isn't.
Awesome.
Amen.
It was good to hear. Your second question in the round is in science.
Science. Please be about math and corn.
No, this is it's biology, so I think you might be at a slight disadvantage.
The corn's biology?
Well.
What is the only human internal organ capable of regenerating lost tissue?
Corn. No.
I do have a lot of corn
Bunion.
in me. Yeah, them bitches keep coming back.
They come back.
Damn onions.
Yeah, this is where medical school comes in handy.
I think both teams might have a full set of meow meows here. Do y'all want a 3, 2, 1 this?
I'm down.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, Taylor, you're going to give our answer. Chris, you'll give your answer, and I'll count it down. 3, 2, 1.
Liver.
Liver is correct.
That is not the worst answer.
I will say.
Liver worst.
Grow.
I will say that my PhD is going to be in computational biology. So technically I could be called a biologist.
Corn.
So
she's the corn doctor.
Dr. Corn.
Dr. Corn Stuffins.
All right, your last question this round is in symbols. SYMBOLS.
I was about to say, what kind of symbols are we talking about?
SYMBOLS.
Yeah, Zildjian.
Right. What ubiquitous symbol was created by Gary Anderson in 1970, which was the winning submission of an Earth Day contest and has been in the public domain ever since? Odds are you have at least one item in your home with this symbol on it.
Mr. Anderson. I am 99% Taylor.
Great.
All right, we're going to lock in.
Yeah.
All right.
We said the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, we both said recycling. I almost was going to push the peace symbol, but I thought 3 arrows in my head, and Chris said 3 arrows at the exact same time. So we went with recycling.
Yeah, we both did the same thing. We said the same thing, and after I typed recycle, the little emoji popped up, so I clicked that too, so as you could see, this is the one right here. So yeah, we said recycling.
Correct answer is the recycle symbol.
Nice.
I'm going to get on my Grateful Dead t-shirt, so I got my peace sign too.
Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. At the end of the second round, Jonathan and Taylor have extended their lead. It is now 62-42.
Feeling good, Taylor. You and I are gelling right now. This is great.
Now, I just want to say this out of self-defense and to put the big hex. You guys have a perfect game.
You don't say.
Almost.
Indeed.
Almost. They misspelled turkey.
That's true.
They could have 64.
Oh, that's true.
That's true. That's a good point.
Not perfect, unfortunately. We're better. Actually, the way I calculate perfect, though, we're better than perfect. The score that you should expect if you're perfect at the end of the second round is 60 points. We have 62. Do the math. 62 divided by 60.
I don't know what you're talking about.
1 1/30.
One corn more than 60.
One kernel above 60.
That's right.
All right. Your first question in the third round is a music tribond.
All right. Music.
What musician appears on each of the following songs? Aeroplane by Red Hot Chili Peppers. I Don't Like the Drugs, But the Drugs Like Me by Marilyn Manson. And You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette.
And did you give the artists on those?
Aeroplane was Red Hot Chili Peppers. I Don't Like the Drugs, But the Drugs Like Me are by Marilyn Manson. And then You Ought to Know was
Alanis Morissette. Okay.
Yep.
Do you want to go with that, Taylor? Do you have any other thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's all we're going to get.
All right. Well, then we're going to take our guess and we're going to lock in.
Okay.
So we both think that in order for it to be a musician that across all 3 songs, that it has to be something that's up front and very visible or very easily heard. And so I said either like a special guest drummer or like a special guitar soloist. And Chris, I think we're leaning towards guitarist, right?
I think so. I'm just trying to figure out who the guitarists were that would have been active around that time period that would be, I want this guy.
I mean, I don't think it's Grohl or Grawl.
And he's an everything player. Actually, Dave Grohl's not a bad thought either.
Don't think it is. Who's the drummer that looks a lot like Will Ferrell?
You got me on that one.
I don't think it's him.
You know, I actually like the one I came up with is Tom Morello.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Although I think what Dave Grohl's got going for him is, he's the front man of huge group after huge group.
And this guy might be too young. Is there a guitarist? I want to say his last name is Bonamassa.
Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah. Is he too young?
No, he'd be. He was big later than what they're talking about. But yeah, that's not a bad one either. Who's the 9 Inch Nails guy?
I mean, I don't know if you can see my camera, but I don't feel like I fit that demographic.
I don't know, man. You're about the right age. I don't know how old you are, but no, you white people are crazy.
Just judging by the gray, I think I'm probably the old man of the group.
I am disappointed that nobody laughed at my white people are crazy joke.
Oh, I just thought that was just.
I think it was just accepted.
Yeah.
It's just factual.
Damn shame.
I'll say crazy.
I mean, I lean towards David Grohl. Then I mean, I don't have anything else. I don't have any confidence, but let's go with Grohl if you're okay with that.
Dave Grohl. I think that's as good a guess as we're going to come up with because he played everything. He was active. I mean, very active around that time. Let's do that.
Okay. We're locked in.
All right. Jonathan Taylor?
I mean, Taylor, I like the way that they were thinking. It's the same kind of logic that we used.
Yeah, definitely.
I suggested that there may be a trick in the question. By the way, the Will Ferrell drummer, I think his name's Chad Smith, and he's the drummer for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And that
Totally
is
looks like Will Ferrell.
Yeah. I know that the bassist for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Flea, is the guest guitarist, the guest bassist on a lot of songs. He's all over the place,
good, yeah.
and he's always been kind of weird looking and seems like a weird, but he is a super talented musician. And in the very dark reaches of my mind, there's an inkling, Taylor, that he might have actually been on You Ought to Know. Like I might have heard that once somewhere. So that is kind of those two pieces of information, tenuous as they are, led us to think that this might be a trick to include Red Hot Chili Peppers as one of the bands. And we said Flea.
Okay. I like that answer a lot.
That's a good answer.
I can tell you that Flea was a guest bassist on You Ought to Know, but the answer we're looking for is the other guest guitarist on You Ought to Know, and that was Dave Navarro.
Dave Navarro. Did you guys answer Navarro, or did you say Kenny Navarro?
No, we said
answered Grohl.
Oh,
we answered Dave Grohl.
But I said Kenny Navarro.
yeah, I knew that it wasn't Ken. I knew it was Dave. Golly. So, Ben, just to make sure, Flea was not perhaps on this Marilyn Manson song too, was he?
He was not.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, Taylor.
Nope.
No.
Ain't bad.
If he was on You Ought to Know, and we know he was in Chili Peppers, that's a damn good guess.
Yeah.
You guys might have seen this, but there is I think she's an 11-year-old drummer that challenged Dave Grohl to a drum off.
Ooh.
And
Wow.
he said in concert, and she kicked my ass in front of the world.
Wow.
So when they had a set at, I think it was a LA Coliseum or Staples Center, they brought her on stage to close the show.
Oh my God.
And it's an 11-year-old. You should see the YouTube video. I mean, this kid is not good for an 11-year-old. This kid is good for a human being. Wow. She is absolutely unreal. It's a great YouTube video to check out.
I'm gonna put that in my notes to look that up.
Blanking on her name.
I would definitely have to check that out. I think that adds to the demigod stature of Dave Grohl. He seems like one of those universally beloved musicians.
He really does. If he joined Nickelback, it would be popular. I think that's what it would take, honestly.
They have to call it Nickelback featuring Dave Grohl.
There you go.
I'm going to look
the
up the
other way
name right
around.
now.
Oh, Dave Grohl featuring Nickelback? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
The name of the young one. Jesus. Apparently, this person is challenging lots of different drummers. She did Roger Taylor in a drum battle as well. I think her name is Nandi Bushell.
Yes, that is her. And what was cool about the video is the way that Dave Grohl and the rest of the bandmates treated her, because she got up there and she's a drummer, Yeah.
Awesome.
And she killed it.
She should challenge that drummer from 21 Pilots, because that dude.
You mean the drum machine? No, I'm
he
kidding.
drums with all his heart.
No, he's in concert. I've seen him, and he really physically does.
I've never
awesome.
seen anyone drum that hard in the music videos. Awesome. So 10 points to Ravenclaw there, but that's okay. We're going to go to the next question.
Chris, we didn't appreciate your jinx.
Ravenclaw strikes again.
Well timed, Chris. Well timed.
You do what you got to do.
Your second question rounds in video games.
Okay, Vidya.
Speaking of doctors, Dr. Ivo Robotnik is the main antagonist in what video game franchise?
I've got the meow meows. All the meow
Sweet.
meows.
Oh.
All you, man.
Rob, am I hitting the hammer for you?
Hit the hammer, my man.
Okay.
Sweet. 'Cause
All
I had
right.
no clue.
You're locked in then. Taylor,
Yeah.
this is
so
either Mega Man or Sonic.
It's definitely Sonic on, I believe, Wednesday's New York Times crossword. This was a clue.
Oh. Okay, so the other one, like Mega Man, must be Dr. Wily then, because I knew there's a Wily and I knew there was a Robotnik. And so that means that Robotnik is Jim Carrey in the movie.
Which is Eggman, which I believe was the answer to the clue or to the crossword.
So the Eggman and Robotnik are the same people, right?
I think it's Ivo, Eggman, Robotnik.
All right, let's do it. We're going to say, you said which game
What
franchise?
video game franchise?
So we're saying Sonic the Hedgehog, right?
Yes.
We're doing it.
Okay.
I, with all the confidence in my heart, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Correct answer is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Nice.
Okay, that has got to be the first time that anybody arrives at Sonic the Hedgehog by way of the New York Times crossword.
I love that crossword.
Taylor, that's awesome.
This is what makes this show special. Is things like that.
I was listening to, or I was editing. There was a guy in the upcoming episode being released this week, and he kept on pointing out, that one is a regular crossword clue. That
Wow.
like what attraction is found in Agra, India? He's like, oh yeah, that comes up in crosswords all the time, and he's great at trivia, and some of that greatness is just because he does crosswords regularly, and those clues help you.
Yeah. You know, it seems to me like a good way of studying for Jeopardy is to go over crossword answers. That seems like a good way. That's some good study material.
Because it really short, like immediate. If it says this 2 words, it's that answer.
Right. Yep. Okay. Your last question before the midpoint is, I was told there would be no math.
Okay. All right, Taylor. All right.
Mathematologist over here.
Corn and math.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Here's
I'm a
your question.
math doctor.
How many gallons are in a U.S. bushel? And for 2 bonus points, how many kernels of corn are in a U.S. bushel?
So, you just, this isn't even the real question, is it?
Is that a real bonus?
The bonus is not real. I just had
The
to throw
regular
that in.
question, is that even
Yes,
the real?
that is a real
Is that the
question.
real thing?
That is
Because
a real
Taylor
question.
grinned when you
Yes.
said bushel. She
I
grinned.
could easily average that out.
But he's only going to give you a margin of error about 4, so it's
Oh, the bonus points are not real.
I mean, I thought it was the number of pecks in a bushel. I didn't know we were talking about gallons. Are we talking about liquid gallons? Is there another kind?
I believe bushel is dry only.
So is it dry gallons? Is that a thing?
I will verify for you.
Please. Oh, do you want decimals out to the second place? Because that's what Taylor just sent me.
It doesn't need what is that called? Significant digits. We only need one significant digit.
One significant.
Yeah, we're looking for dry gallons.
I didn't even know dry gallons were a thing. So read the question again just to make sure that I understand this answer.
How many gallons are in a U.S. bushel? And I want to know dry gallons.
Taylor, can you send me the single digit or double digit number, or even triple digit number if it is triple digits, that you want to lock in with? Because I'm going to go with whatever you say.
Will.
Okay. Once again, I didn't know they were dry gallons, unless they were gin. If it's a gallon of gin, obviously it would be dry gin.
they're very dry
I
gallons.
love good gin.
Grown. That's a good grown. You're putting a question mark in that piece of conversation, but you know damn well that I don't have any idea. I am at your service. I will lift the pencils and bring them to you. I will wipe off the chalkboard. I will do whatever I need to contribute, but information is not the way I'm going to contribute to this answer.
See, the issue about being good at math or having any degrees at math is you stop using numbers and conversions pretty early on.
Really? And
Yes.
start using computers or what?
Words, proofs. I love a good proof.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, maybe I would have been good at math if I got past the number part. If you want to say that number, we can lock that in. I honestly cannot tell you if I like it or not. I have no idea.
Let's go ahead and lock in that second number.
All right, we're locked in.
All right, Rob and Chris.
I have no idea why that number popped in my head, but it seemed just kind of like what it was. I'm picturing like a bushel container, like a bushel of apples.
I didn't think it was as high as 33. I thought it was less than 10. But I didn't realize there was such thing, like Jonathan said, I didn't know there was such thing as a dry gallon.
Gallons, them, dry gallons.
A gallon's just a volume measurement. It can be volume of whatever. 33 is one of those numbers. That could be gallons in a bushel. It could be gallons in a barrel. It could be, it is a number that is meaningful somehow, but I don't know if it's the right answer to this.
Now, that triggers something, 33 to a barrel. I enjoy my bourbon And for some reason, 33 with a barrel might make sense to me, whether it's 33 bushels in a barrel.
I think it would be 33 gallons, not 33, because a bushel is definitely bigger than a gallon.
Right. I'm somewhere in the ballpark of less than 10, like 7, 8, 9. But I don't have any memory or knowledge, right? You've got a memory of 33 somewhere, and I always trust the gut, right? So if it's a trigger for you, I'd say let's go with it.
Let's go. Let's lock in 11.
Okay.
Does that work?
That's fine. 11.
We're going to lock in 11.
All right. Jonathan and Taylor.
Taylor, tell them what you were thinking and how you came up with our answer.
Yeah, so just one of those things that come around in science when you are doing it for a long time are these basic conversions, like inches to centimeters, etc. So originally I said 9.31 because I remember that being a sort of gallon bushel liquid measure. But then when Ben repeated it, he said dry. And I remember, hopefully correctly, that a dry gallon is a little bit less than a liquid. What's a little bit less than 9.3? It would be 8. So we locked in with 8.
There are 9.3092 fluid gallons in a U.S. bushel.
That is so impressive that you've literally pulled
that's
right
amazing,
in that.
Taylor.
I mean, I don't know if we got the answer right or not, but that was freaking impressive.
Yeah, it's scary.
I love seeing smart people be smart. And that's what we just watched
Math
there.
and corn.
It's almost like I wrote this question for her, even though I wrote it 5 years ago. There are 8
Oh
dry
my
gallons
God.
in a bushel.
wow.
My God.
Oh my
Taylor,
God.
wow.
Taylor.
Taylor.
Woo! Man. Oof. Good Lord. If y'all lose by 10, nothing you could do. Nothing, no shame. You lost to science.
Yeah.
At the end of the third round, Jonathan and Taylor extend their lead. It is now 82-52. Your midpoint category is in sports.
Let's go.
Oh, I love this question. So, for each of the big 4 sports, so there's NBA, NFL, NHL, and Major League Baseball, I want you to name the player in each of those leagues that has won the most world championships, excluding rings that were won with the Yankees, Celtics, Canadians, and Patriots. So based on the exclusion I gave you, both Bill Russell and Yogi Berra would have 0 championships.
I was about to say, Yogi Berra, I'm confident. Damn you. Damn you.
love this question.
This is, oh, geez.
Okay, you said excluding the Yankees, Celtic, Red Wings, and Patriots.
Yankees, Celtics, Canadians,
or Canadians.
or Patriots.
Okay. You know, I had a different set of 4 answers a minute ago.
Oh, I know you did.
Yeah, so did I.
Okay, the person who has the most championship rings, with excluding any rings won with those 4 teams.
Correct.
We're gonna need some time. I know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, I like you, Taylor.
Thank you.
I mean, I'll probably like you if we met and hung out too, but I like how smart you are too. Just raw material there.
I'll be honest, it's another crossword one.
Huh.
This is a really good question, Ben.
Oh, thank you. All right, that was 5 minutes, so let's go ahead and start wrapping up your answers.
No.
Yeah. I think the one I said for NHL, I like that answer better, and it's not good. Put my caps lock on, so now I'm shouting at you. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. Again, I work in politics. Everybody shouts at me.
You know, if you're confident with that last one, I like the other 3 a lot. If you're confident that last one, we're good.
With this one or this one?
That last comment that I made just seems, I don't think he got that many. I don't know why that. So if you want to go with that first one you suggested,
Okay.
I'm good with that too.
Got it.
There are a couple other names that popped in mind, but I have 0 confidence in any of them.
All right, we're going to go ahead and lock in.
We're going to lock in too.
Yep,
All
I think we're
right.
good.
It'll be interesting to see how this goes down. I wouldn't doubt that both teams get 2 After that,
Yeah.
I bet it's going to be nothing. All right, Ben.
Ravenclaw.
Okay. Who wants to reveal their answers first?
We'll do ours first. So Taylor, you and I had some good back and forth. We started with football, and both of us said Charles Haley. We think I said he has around 7. You said you think he has 8.
God.
And I'm right there with you. So we're saying Charles Haley. For basketball, you thought about Sam Charles, but weren't sure about Celtics. Or I don't know if Sam Charles, but I know Robert Horry has at least 6 or 7, if not more. He was part of the Spurs dynasty and the Lakers dynasty, and I think he made it over to the Heat for a championship or 2, and I'm pretty confident in Robert Horry. So he said Robert Horry. Then hockey, I started by saying, hey, our default could be Gordie Howe. He played the longest and might have won a bunch, but we just don't know. And then at the last second, you said, what about Bobby Orr? And I liked that. And so we switched and went with Bobby Orr. And baseball, which is my best sport for knowing stuff, is just so wide open. They didn't have free agency until the 70s, and so people weren't switching teams, so you had to look at the dynasty teams, like the Dodgers with Don Drysdale, or the Cardinals with Stan Musial, and then after that, after the 70s, people jumped from team to team, but I mean, I can't keep track of whether a person was on a championship team here, there, and everywhere else. So we ended up just going with somebody who won quite a few and said Stan Musial. So our answers were Haley, Horry, Orr, and Musial.
All right. Rob and Chris.
I cannot believe that I forgot about Charles Haley, because that's the right answer. We said for the NFL, we said Terry Bradshaw because he got to 4 in the 70s, but I completely spaced Haley. I thought about Horry. I didn't think he got past the 6 that Michael Jordan had. So we said Jordan, but Big Shot Bob is a good thought. Hockey was tough. I thought Bobby Orr was the first name that came to mind, but I was trying to come up with a dynasty, somebody who had been there and won multiple over really relatively condensed period of time. We actually said Steve Yzerman, who was the captain of the Red Wings when they were really hot in 80s and 90s. And MLB, man, we went back and forth, but I agree with you, Jonathan. That is tough. Thought about Drysdale or Duke Snyder back from when the Dodgers were winning a bunch.
Or maybe like a relief pitcher, that if the relief pitchers could have jumped from team to team, and who knows?
That's tough. We actually went way back, and this is one that Rob came up with. We went with Eddie Collins.
Okay.
Who's way back. I had to ask, and when he typed in, he's the second baseman for the Athletics. Okay, now I remember the name, but
which team was he on?
So
he was the Philadelphia Athletics.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went from being somewhat confident to being absolutely not confident in the slightest. But we've got Stevie Y, Terry Bradshaw, Michael Jordan, and Eddie Collins.
So here are your answers. For football, he played with the Cowboys and the 49ers with 5 championships as Charles Haley.
Only 5? I thought it was more.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I really thought it was 8.
For basketball, I have no idea who Sam Charles is, but he started his career with the Rockets and then played with Shaq with the Lakers and then with the Spurs as Robert Horry.
Nice.
For hockey,
that's right. He did get 2 with the Rockets, didn't he?
Yep. He started his career there.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I thought he went to the Heat or something later, but no, it was the Rockets.
That's right. For hockey, he started his career as a defenseman with the Red Wings and then later played with the Maple Leafs. We're looking for Red Kelly. He won 8 championships.
Unfamiliar
that's
with
a while
Mr.
back.
Kelly.
That's old.
And then for baseball, he played most of his career with the Philadelphia A's. It is Eddie Collins.
Holy crap, Rob! Pulling that out. Wow, bro.
Man.
Baseball is my favorite sport. You know, I've played a long time. I love to watch as many games as I can, and I spent some time in Philadelphia. So I was pretty confident about that one.
How many did he have?
I think
6.
5 or 6.
Holy moly! That's
awesome.
a super impressive pull.
And
I think he did 4 with the Athletics and 2 with the White Sox.
Good job, Rob.
I could double check that. I know he played for the White Sox. You know, that Philly A's team, think is overlooked because of how dominant the Yankees teams were during the same time, but they won a lot of championships around the same time the Yankees were also really good.
So both teams got 10 points?
Jonathan Taylor got 10 points. Rob and Chris got 5.
We got 5. We only had the one right.
Oh, okay.
Well, since we've got baseball fans in the crowd here, George Will is on record as saying that 1,000 years from now, the United States will only be remembered for 3 things: being the first functioning democracy, jazz music, and baseball. And I'm not sure he's wrong.
He's probably not wrong about any of those. After the midpoint, Jonathan and Taylor extend their lead further. It is now 92-57.
All right, that is the end of the first half. Before we go on to the second half, I want to let you know that we have a new sponsor this week. Today's show is sponsored by Family Sounds. All right, so first of all, I'm a big fan of the folks over at Family Sounds, no joke. I'm actually friends with both the CEO and the executive producer over there at Family Sounds. In fact, the executive producer, actually appeared on an episode of Trivial Warfare way back in the archives because he was a fan of our work, and I'm a fan of their work too. So I know that they are high-quality people, and this is a very cool concept that they have for you. Family Sounds is a company that works with their customers to record their stories and spoken word memories into a podcast format. I loved this concept as soon as I heard about it. Think about how special this is. I'm going to give you one example. My father passed away around 15 years ago now. Do you know how much I would treasure audio recordings of him talking, telling his stories, sharing things that he wants me to know, sharing his memories, or even just making jokes? Family Sounds offers all of us this chance to put our family members' voices into podcasts for all time. It's also a way to share your own voice for your children and your loved ones. Now, in order for this to work, to be something that you really treasure, it has to be really well done. So that's where Family Sounds comes in. The Family Sounds team has extensive experience crafting stories for public broadcasting, and they will be using that expertise for you. I couldn't be more serious when I say this is an amazing opportunity, and there is no reason to wait. To learn more about Family Sounds, visit www.family-sounds.com/TWA. That's right, go to www.family-sounds.com/TWA. Don't forget the dash in the middle of Family Sounds, by the way. That's important. And you'll find the link in our show notes. You can click it right from your podcast app. Check them out now. Family Sounds, your memories in a podcast. Today's show is also sponsored by Every Plate. Guys, Every Plate is a fantastic meal kit delivery service. You can experience full plates and full wallets with America's best value meal kit, and it's some good stuff too. Last week I made some garlic rosemary chicken. I'm telling you, the side was roasted root vegetables, right? It's amazing how easy it seems to be to cook with Every Plate. I mean, I get the instructions. I end up dicing a few things, some potatoes. They'll send some like small Yukon potatoes, and you dice them up, and you chop up a couple of onions, and boom, you're putting seasoning and olive oil on them, roasting them, and you end up with a delicious side dish that you would have never thought of, right? And it just feels so much easier to cook when you're using Every Plate. And so just because it's good food is a great starting point. You don't want a meal kit delivery service that does not have good food, and Every Plate has good food, but they're also a good value. Even at full price, Every Plate saves you 50% on your grocery bill for the same stuff. It makes it easy to save money and easy to cook. Every week, there are 17 different recipes that change. They swap their proteins and their veggies and their sides, and you get to pick, mix, and match what it is that you want to come in your box. If you want to make dinner time easier, healthier, and better, it's time to try Every Plate. And you can try Every Plate for just $1.79 per meal by going to everyplate.com and entering code TWA179. That's right, you can get started with Every Plate for just $1.79 per meal by going to everyplate.com and entering code TWA179. Go check out Every Plate right now. Today's show is also sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. All right, so relationships take a lot of work, right? When you're in a relationship, we will drop everything to help the person that we love. We'll go out of our way to treat everybody around us well because we want to be liked and we want to be loved and we want to make people feel good. How often do we give ourselves the same treatment? How often do we take 20 minutes to sit quietly and meditate or read a book that helps us grow in our personal development? What are we doing to help ourselves be better people and to help ourselves work through the things that hold us back? This month, BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to take care of your most important relationship, the one you have with yourself. Guys, therapy is a difference-making activity in the lives of the people who use it. There is nobody, and I mean nobody, who would not benefit from regular chances to talk to a qualified person about the things they're thinking and the things going on in their life in order to make a positive difference in their life. I've told you about BetterHelp so many times. It's online therapy. You don't have to go to the office. You're talking all week. You're chatting. You may have a video appointment one week, or you may just save the video appointment for a month from now. Maybe you just need once a month because you can just chat back and forth in between. BetterHelp is a flexible option to get that coaching, to invest in your relationship with yourself. You can find out why over 2 million people are already using BetterHelp Online Therapy. This podcast today is sponsored by BetterHelp. And I'm going to tell you right now, Trivial Warfare listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/TWA. That's right. That's where you go. Go to BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/TWA. It's time to invest in ourselves. Go to BetterHelp.com/TWA. All right, let's get on with the second half of today's game.
Round 4 begins with a question in science.
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 Nice. Chris with the deep voice on that one.
Indeed.
Science.
Sericulture, SERI culture, involves the practice of breeding what insect that is native to Asia?
Taylor is nodding. My guess is what your nodding was. Beautiful. All right, we're locked in.
Okay.
I think we're locked in, unless you have something else that you were thinking, Rob.
No, I've A, never heard the word, and B, barely passed high school chemistry. So I
don't know, as long as it doesn't have anything to do with math or corn, I think we'll be all right. Well, I'm thinking if you're something in Asia, if you're actually working on breeding an insect, there's got to be value to it. So we said the silkworm. So we'll lock in with that.
All right.
Taylor, did you have real knowledge here? I just had a guess.
Yeah, actually not because I'm a scientist, because fashion is something that I look at a lot. And one of the coolest research areas is on how not to use silkworms, which is what we locked in with, and use some sort of synthetic fibers, or use spiders, which is terrifying.
The deadpan delivery made it there, Taylor. That was awesome.
So you locked in with the silkworm?
Silkworm.
Correct answer is silkworm. Yes, the spider thing definitely is terrifying, but it seems like they're way more ubiquitous and easily farmable than silkworms. I would guess.
I strongly disagree. Or you're probably right, but I just disagree because it's a spider.
Yeah. I'm going to defer to you because you've got the knowledge there. Okay. Your second question in the round is in classical music. What musical piece was Mozart working on at the time of his death? even reported to have been found in his hand when his body was discovered?
Yeah, we can lock in.
All right. Rob and Chris?
I'm good with that. If you don't do that one, Rob.
Yeah, so we were going back and forth trying to remember what Mozart was best known for. And my first guess was Mozart's Greatest Hits Volume 2. And we decided that was not going to be the correct answer. And so after going back and forth a little bit, we settled on Requiem in D minor. So,
or just Mozart's Requiem.
Yeah.
Jonathan and Taylor?
Taylor, this is you.
Yep. So I played violin for a while. This is one of those music trivia. If you played a traditionally classical instrument of any sort, you would know. I couldn't remember it, and I started humming, and then finally it came to me. We also answered Requiem in D minor.
All right. You know, as much as I would love for the correct answer to be Mozart's Greatest Hits 2 Would Win the correct answer is the Requiem. So yes, credit for both teams.
Nice.
We don't get the bonus brigade for the greatest hits, huh?
No.
No. Unfortunately not. Okay. Your last question around. Category is Nothing is Certain. Car crashes in the United States happen most frequently on what day of the year? Typically caused by sober, stressed drivers after dark.
Do you want a date or just the name of the day?
I'll accept the name of the day. Yep.
Okay. Are you good with that, Taylor?
Yeah, I think I'm good. I'm only at like a moderate rumble from my other answer.
All right. Then we're going to lock in.
Rob and Chris?
We're going back and forth on holidays right now. Chris's first thought was New Year's Eve, and my instinct, I really liked it. But we're going back and, okay, could it be Thanksgiving or Christmas Eve or even tax day?
Yeah.
I mean, Chris, I really like New Year's Eve, though. I think that they haven't been drinking all day. They're tired. It's the end of the year. They're ready to just go party.
Yeah. None of these is kind of lighting up like the obvious answer. So, but you said more traffic accidents happen this day caused by sober, stressed drivers after dark. Is that right, Ben?
Correct.
Okay. And you said just the name of the day, like saying St. Patrick's Day instead of March 17th would be reasonable.
That's correct.
Okay. When would you have drivers that are going to be stressed? That's a yearly thing. Because tax day, most people are filing early the way that the system works now.
Yeah.
Only problem with New Year's Eve is you also have a lot of accidents caused by drunken idiots.
Right.
I kind of like Thanksgiving.
All right, let's lock it in.
Is that what you want? Okay.
Yeah, let's lock it in.
That works.
Okay. Jonathan and Taylor.
All right. So I was pushing for this answer. I think this might be something that I've heard once or twice, but we went with tax day, specifically sober.
Oh.
The idea of being sober means probably not a holiday where people are celebrating together. And just having it where after work you're trying to rush to H&R Block or Hewlett Packard, Jackson Hewitt or wherever and get it done, or even get home and do it yourself. Wait until the last minute, and that's where the stress would come from. So we said tax day.
But what you didn't mention, Jonathan, is nothing is certain but death and taxes.
Yes, exactly.
Nice clue. I completely missed that.
The category was nothing is certain.
The category. Nothing is certain. It's tax day. God, great hint, Ben.
Good hint, Ben.
Yep. That was going to be my flavor text there. Nothing is certain except death and taxes. It is tax day.
Oh, Rob, I'm sorry, man. I talked you out of the right answer.
Thank you for talking me into the right answer, Jonathan.
The stress part of that is just without the hint is the biggest part of it, because holidays typically aren't going to be the super stressful without alcohol.
Right. In fact, you drink alcohol to relieve the stress of your family members. Yeah, the theory here is, first of all, a lot of people live in rural areas and aren't familiar where their post office is. So if they're dropping it off at 11 o'clock at night, they're driving after dark in an unfamiliar neighborhood, and they tend to have more crashes. So at the end of the fourth round,
We're getting crushed.
I would not call this getting crushed. There have been way more lopsided scores.
I've been crushed before. This ain't it.
This is not a crushing. This is you've got a good shot here. Score is 122-77. Jonathan and Taylor extend their lead.
Well, I think you have your title for the episode. It's Taylor and Jonathan extend their lead.
Hilarious. All right. As usual in Trivia Warfare, when I'm hosting your fifth round, are all questions by Rob Warman, prolific trivia writer Rob Warman.
Warman.
Oh, nice.
Your first question in Rob Warman's round is the Olympics. After Sven Rothenberger of the Netherlands took bronze in 1996, every Olympic athlete to medal in the individual dressage event has shared what trait? What do they all have in common?
Say again, please.
After Sven Rothenberger of the Netherlands took bronze in 1996.
So does it include him or it starts after him?
It starts after him.
Okay.
Every Olympic athlete to medal in the individual dressage event has shared what trait?
All right. Yeah, Taylor, I think we can lock that in.
All right. Rob and Chris.
Yeah, Chris, we just typed the same thing. I think that they're all female.
I love watching the Olympics, but I got to say that dressage is probably not my strong suit. So I'm just thinking what Sven, whatever his name is, what wouldn't apply to him. And the first is him. I can't believe that Ben would ask about some particular type of horse. It's not all going to be from the same country.
If he's asking about how they braid the horse's tail, I'm going to be really upset.
They all share really long fetlocks.
Yeah, I'm only going to be really upset when Taylor gets it right after it's about braiding horse's tail. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with they've all been women.
Okay, we're locked in.
Okay, Jonathan and Taylor.
Taylor?
Yeah, we said the same thing. All I can remember is Leslie Jones, even though she has some controversy with live tweeting / watching the Olympics. I can only remember her ever saying she with dressage, and same when Snoop Dogg was talking about crip walking horses.
That is so great.
Player, he is crip walking.
Yeah, I mean they do.
That horse has style.
They do crip walk.
Okay, Taylor, you've gone New York Times crossword and Snoop Dogg. You're my hero.
Hey,
wow.
Again, this is what makes this show special. There's moments like this and guests like this.
All I have to say is,
and she's a corn mathematician,
shizzle.
guys.
What'd you say, Taylor?
I said all I have to say is faux shizzle.
Faux shizzle. Yep. Correct answer is all the horses have Elsa braids. No, that's not the right answer. Can you tell that I have two daughters? Correct answer is all of the medalists after 1996 were female.
There we go.
Wow, that's awesome.
Okay, your second question in the Rob Warman round is in literature. Irma Rombauer published her famous book in 1936. In 1972, Dr. Alex Comfort published a far more controversial book with an intentionally similar title. Name both books.
Okay, you want to lock in with that, Rob?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Nick, we're good.
Okay. Jonathan and Taylor, rare opportunity for you to talk.
Taylor, could this be the joy of cooking and the joy of sex?
That is what I was thinking, but wasn't it a couple that did the joy of sex?
I don't know.
Or were those just the researchers?
I mean, there was the Masters and Johnson.
Yes, that's who I'm thinking
I don't
of.
think that was the joy of sex. I think that was a different thing. I don't know, but that the joy of blank is what came to mind, and I know that I always mistook Julia Child as the writer for The Joy of Cooking and have been corrected a bunch, and Rombauer is kind of coming up in my mind as The Joy of Cooking. When he said her name, that's the one that came to mind. So that's probably my best answer.
I like it. I think you're right about the Masters and Johnson. That's wrong.
And in 72, that's right in the sexual revolution with the hippies and whatnot. So it kind of fits the changing mores of the country.
I like it.
All
I
right.
say we go for it.
We're going to say the joy of cooking and the joy of sex.
Okay. Rob and Chris.
Now, if we're right, then you missed the world's best chance to title the category Food and Love. We did say the joy of cooking and the joy of sex.
It's funny you say that. When Rob sent me this, he originally sent the category of food and love, but he thought it might be too on the nose.
Too on the nose.
Yeah, little square there.
I was trying to figure out how to incorporate that into the question, but then I gave up after like 10 minutes. The correct answer is the joy of cooking and the joy of sex.
Nice.
AKA food and love. All right. And obviously I will not read those two books at the same time because I don't mix those two things.
I was about to say, it could be very interesting reading.
Yep. Yeah, you have to go back to the very first After Dark episode to get the context on that. And your last question in the Rob Warming round is around the house. In 1953, chemist Norm Larson made dozens of attempts at devising a water-displacing liquid in order to prevent metal from rusting. What hugely successful product was the result of Norm's work?
I have every meow meow that's ever existed, Taylor.
Same here.
Okay.
Yeah, we're totally locked in.
The guy that barely passed chemistry and Chris.
Well, if I remember right, the first 39 times he did this, it didn't work out very well, but WD water displacement 40 did. So we think it's WD 40.
Okay, they're locked in. Jonathan and Taylor?
Water displacement 40th attempt. We said WD 40.
Correct answer is WD 40.
Yarp.
Every household should have a can of WD 40, a roll of duct tape, and command strips. It's just mandatory house ownership.
Command strips? I don't even know what command strips are.
They're the things you use to hang stuff on the wall. Instead of putting nails in, you use command strips instead to like put on the back of whatever you want to stick to the wall.
Okay, I should grab some of those. It sounds like
they're essential. If you don't want to put holes in the wall. Okay, so after the fifth round, Jonathan and Taylor have 152 points. Rob and Chris have 107. So you're definitely not out of it.
I just want to point out that you could not say after that round that Jonathan and Taylor extend their lead.
They did not extend their lead. In fact, the percentage of their lead went down. Okay, your sixth round begins with a question from Joel Skelly.
Thank you, Joel.
Thanks, Joel.
Thanks, Joel.
Category is geography.
Geography.
When this African country was formed in 1964, the names of its two predecessor states were combined into a portmanteau to make a new name. For 10 points, name the country. And for 1 bonus point each, name the two predecessor states.
I was hoping you had that part of the answer.
Are you pretty certain about the...
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Ben, that's the part I came up with, just what you typed down.
Yeah, Ben, point of clarification. Is the predecessor states, is it a point apiece, or do we need both to get the points?
No, 1 point each.
Okay.
I'm going to send you a lot of wrong answers here.
I'll take them.
Oh. Okay, so I think we're going to lock in.
All right. Rob and Chris. You have a main and a bonus?
Yes.
Okay. Rob and Chris.
2 bonuses.
So I knew pretty quickly that it was Tanzania, and Chris agreed with me on that. Where we've been going back and forth with our wrong answers for the two predecessor states. I think one of them is Zanzibar.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
But I can't come up with the first one.
Yeah, the one I just sent is a city. It's not a country.
Oh, see, I would have thought it was a country too. So,
I mean, I got nothing better right now. So what's going to start with TA or TAN? You just want to go with what I typed down. I don't think it's right, but
if you think that's a city, what country is that located in?
Algeria?
Then let's go with this.
Let's go with that. Okay. We're going to lock in Tanzania, and the bonus would be Zanzibar and Tangiers.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm dating somebody who has climbed Kilimanjaro. So I had a little bit of a hint on at least one part of this.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
She's a super interesting person, isn't she?
She's fallen down a mountain.
I know, but like the part of Fuji I fell down was not, it was mostly flat, to be honest. I don't, yeah.
I don't know if it makes it better, Taylor.
If you guys are smart, you're going to have Taylor on every episode for about the next 50. These stories are awesome.
She also underrated her ability, too, in terms of matchups. She's real good.
Okay. It's so hard.
Especially when they tell you, Jonathan's a 7, you're like, I'm nowhere near as good as
I know. There are some episodes where I get maybe one right, and I'm happy. Did I ever even answer?
No.
Oh, okay.
But lock in with that. We need help.
So our guess was Tanzania. And then I knew that Zanzibar and Tanzania were related because of the Z sound. And then Jonathan actually got the second part.
Well, you gave me a lot of help there.
All I knew, it was like Tamalika, Takalika, Tajalika, something in that world. And then Jonathan came up with,
there's one of the largest lakes, if not the largest lake in Africa, is Lake Tanganyika.
Tanganyika, okay.
And so it's like, well, I mean, if you're trying to say a word like that, how about Tanganyika? And she thinks that's right.
All right, so your correct answer is Tanzania. Had y'all not pronounced it correctly, I would have mispronounced it because I always get it mixed up in my mind. And we are looking for Zanzibar and Tanganyika.
Wow.
Now, for me, Tanganyika, I also tend to mispronounce it as Tanganyika because I had a classmate in high school. Her name was Tanganyika.
I had a high school classmate named Tangela.
Well, there you go.
Similar.
You guys cannot catch up to Taylor. I mean, you're wasting your time. She is so far ahead of you right now.
We're not even trying, bro.
No.
At this point, we're just sharing facts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your second question round is in historical resume. All right. Here's how this is going to work. I have a list of 5 facts about a historical figure that I will read one at a time. After each is read, each team may lock in an answer, at which point the other team will hear the rest of the clues. The team that provides a correct answer with the fewest number of clues wins 10 points. In the event of a tie, both teams get the points. Everybody understand?
Okay.
All right. And I'm going to give you 45 seconds or so between each of these clues. Here is your first one. I was born in 1984 in New York to a Danish father and a Jewish mother. You can take the full time if you want, but if you're sure you want the next clue, just tell me.
We're going to take the next clue.
All right.
Unless you got anything, Rob, I'm good with taking the next clue.
What do you think about that answer real quick?
I got no reason to argue against it. I don't know if you want to lock in or hear the next one. And
I'm 80% confident on it.
Really? Okay.
I need to know now if you're going to lock in.
Up to you, Rob. Your call.
I say let's lock it.
Oh.
Let's go.
Well.
Wow. We get all the other clues.
Okay. So,
what?
Send me your answer. I think, Rob, I connected you already. Just go ahead and send me your answer before I read the rest of the clues.
Hey, we're behind. Hard times call for desperate measures.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. See if it works out.
You're not going to ding me on spelling, right?
Yes. Definitely.
Hey, close is horseshoes. Close enough is close enough. Okay. I have their answer. Here are the remainder of your clues. At age 7, I would practice staring in the mirror and making myself cry, just like my idol, Julie Garland. Clue number 3. My career started blossoming after I appeared in a Robert Redford movie in the late 90s and did multiple collaborations with Woody Allen.
In the what year?
Late 90s. All right. Ready for number 4?
Mm-hmm.
I co-starred with Chris Evans and Eric Bana many years earlier than most people think.
Oh, it's going to be Scarlett Johansson, Taylor.
JoJo.
Give us the last one, Ben.
I'm the ninth highest grossing box office star of all time, primarily from my work as a Spider-Woman.
As a Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman. Black Widow. Yeah, that makes sense. It's a tricky way to say it. But yeah, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, it's definitely ScarJo.
Okay, we're saying Scarlett Johansson.
All right. You correctly answered Scarlett Johansson. Rob and Chris also submitted Scarlett Johansson as a guest, so they get the points.
Wow.
Go, Rob.
With the clue of born in 1984 in New York to a Danish father and a Jewish mother, your locked-in answer with just that information was Scarlett Johansson. How did you do that?
So I've actually read an article where she talked about her father being Danish. And then when she married the Colin Jost guy, one of the articles was talking about if they would have a traditional Jewish wedding or if they would have like a civil ceremony. So,
wow.
That's awesome, Rob. Good job.
Wow.
By the way, you brought up Eric Bana. He's not in the Avengers. He was Hulk like way back when in one of the previous iterations.
Gotcha. Okay. So part of that question would be incorrect, but she did co-star with him on a different movie.
Okay.
So you got the right answer anyway.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying that's a bit of a tricky thing.
That's a good point. Okay, so
he disappeared off the face of the earth, didn't he? Eric Bana?
Yeah, he got.
He did the Hulk, he did Troy, and I don't remember seeing him since.
Maybe he pulled like a Tom Welling where he was just done. You know
who?
Tom Welling was. He played on Smallville. He was Clark Kent on Smallville.
Yeah, so that he did that too. He
did a couple movies and it's like, yeah, I'm good. All right, so your last question before the gauntlet is the showdown. All right. I'm going to ask a question with multiple correct answers. Each team will be given 3 minutes to submit a list of answers. The team with the most correct answers gets 10 points, and any lists with an incorrect answer will be disqualified. Now, Rob and Chris, since you are trailing, you get to choose between two categories for this question. Your choices are geopolitics and sitcoms.
You got a preference, Rob?
No, because both are very vague and very large realms.
Well, pop culture is way up on my list of blind spots. So I would lean towards geopolitics, but after what you did with Scarlett Johansson on the last question, you do you, man. I'll just follow.
He's basking in the glow.
Let's go geopolitics.
Okay.
Geopolitics.
So something that I've found that makes this faster, sometimes texting back and forth when you only have 3 minutes to write a bunch of stuff down can be a slower method. So it helps if you write it down on paper and just take a picture and send it to each other, unless you're debating. If you're just listing out things that you know are right or you want to say, then writing and then taking a picture and sending it is a faster way to do it.
Okay.
Here is your showdown question in geopolitics. Barbados recently removed Queen Elizabeth II as head of state and transitioned to a republic. In addition to the United Kingdom, Queen Elizabeth II is still currently the head of state of 14 countries spread across the world. This includes only independent sovereign nations of which she is head of state. It does not include British territories.
And just a reminder, one wrong answer on this list will give you 0 points.
All right, your 3 minutes starts now.
Taylor, I've already sent you all of the information I know about this, which is damn near nothing.
I have 2 more that I'm trying to figure out what their name are. And I'll send you my list.
If there's a way for me to help you come up with those names, tell me what you do know, and I'll be happy to assist.
Okay.
Chris, I think I'm at 12.
How confident are you in the ones you've got?
Like 100%.
You want to take a picture and shoot it to me?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
God, when you say 12 and 100%, Taylor, in that case, strategically, we might just, unless you got a whole load, just say one that we know is right and hope he gets one wrong.
1 minute warning, by the way.
Well, you got everything that I had plus a bunch more, so I'm good with your list.
How many do we need?
It's just one more than they got.
One more than us, and there's 14 total possible.
Yeah, I'm 100% confident on those 12.
Great. If they get 13, good on them. We tip our cap.
All right, so you guys are locking in. You're going to send your answer to Ben. Taylor, we can talk out loud. They're locked in. I'm not joking about the strategy. We're not coming up with 12. So
there's so many islands.
Yeah, strategically, it's smarter for us to simply say one that we know 100% and hope that he misses. Because if he got 12 right, we can't catch that.
I'm okay with that.
All right. Do you want to go Canada?
That the person I'm dating is from Manitoba.
Of course he is.
Yes.
Of course they are.
Okay, Taylor, I got to ask this. How many people are you dating?
Ben, we're going to lock in with a single answer of Canada.
Okay. That is the correct answer, by the way. All right. So Rob and Chris, they submitted Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Bahamas, Belize, Jamaica, Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Kitts and Nevis, Grenada.
That only counts for one.
That counts for one. Grenada and Antigua and Barbuda. Those are all correct answers. So
Rob.
Rob and Chris get the points. Holy crap.
Just for the record, Taylor had 7 or 8 right answers over here. It was not like she was slacking.
Right. Those
islands are so hard to get.
How in the world, Rob?
Wow.
That's awesome, Rob. Good job.
As much as my girlfriend makes fun of me, I actually like the UK and the Crown and the British royal family and stuff. So I like to read about that stuff. I like to study that stuff. So that was actually a fun question for me.
Oh my God!
I'm curious what I missed, Ben.
Do you want to take any guesses?
No.
Did you guys? Did you say Tuvalu on your list, Rob?
Where?
Tuvalu.
No.
That was one of them.
Then Taylor had 8 right.
Yep. And
That's surprising.
Yeah. I think they still get a bunch of revenue from the .tv extension because that's technically their country name. And then the other one was St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
That was also on Taylor's list.
Wow. Yep, man. Y'all are something else.
It's crazy. It's by the way, and I'm singling out Rob here. That is the most impressive back-to-back performance on a historical resume question and then a showdown question, to go from answering the right answer in one clue and then knocking out 12 of 14 possible correct answers without missing one. That is, I'm trying to think of the right word for it. It's something that I don't think we'll ever see again. It's phenomenal.
John, I've got to admit, I was not 100% confident on the first Scarlett Johansson thing, but we are losing so bad to you guys, Taylor.
But you got it
I had
right.
to take a shot.
You got it right.
You got
That's
it right.
What mattered.
Yeah, we heard the second hint about crying in the mirror, and I texted Chris. I was like 100% locked in.
So I look at the scores, and I think we're actually doing pretty darn well.
Right?
And we're getting spanked.
No.
You guys are killing it.
It wasn't
Not anymore.
There have been teams that got doubled up after like the 5th round. That has happened before. But this is a very competitive game. At the end of the 6th round, Jonathan and Taylor have 164 points. Rob and Chris have 138.
Yeah.
So this is anyone's game still. This is very competitive.
I think in the episode that people are going to hear tomorrow, my team had 100 was it my team? My team had 142 and we were losing by 20 or 30, and it's just like, how in the world?
Hey, 138 going to the gauntlet.
It's
pretty
great.
good.
It's a great score.
I mean, I guess it helps to play crosswords and date people who climb mountains.
They have to be more interesting than that. Canadian people who cure disease and climb
study
mountains.
corn.
And also our math corn doctors.
Yes.
Yes, that's it.
It's a widespread set of knowledge, honestly.
Yeah, it really is. Okay. So, again, just for references, as you're about to put your wagers in, the scores are 164 to 138. And start to prepare your wagers for your gauntlet. The category is, I got the power.
Do it.
All right, our wager is locked in.
I can make an argument for any of those, Rob. Pick a number and text it to me. That's the one you want?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to write it down and circle it.
Same here.
Okay. We're locked in.
Okay. Here is your first question in the category, I got the power. According to the International System of Units, power is measured in units of joules per second, also known by what term?
Okay, we're locked in.
Okay, we're locked in.
Okay, here's your second question. The Starz TV series Power features a recurring role from what Grammy-winning artist who also is a co-creator?
Ooh, okay, we're locked in. Praise God for Taylor Ferebee. I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now.
No, this game right now is just up my alley. That's it.
Shit, your wheelhouse is as big as a freeway.
Okay, we're locked in.
All right, here's your final question. The song "I Got the Power" was released in 1989 and got as high as number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1990. What was the number 1 song at the time? It was the debut single of the only artist to have a number 1 song in 4 different decades. So I want the name of the song.
In the year I Got the Power was released, or the year that was number 2?
So let me reread the question.
Thank you.
The Power was released in 1989 and got as high as number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1990. What was the number 1 song at the time?
And it was a debut single for
The only artist to have a number 1 song in 4 different decades.
So it's somebody that's still active and had a number 1, because it's 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. If that was the debut in 89.
I'm just giving you bits and pieces of thoughts, Taylor. I'm hoping you have more knowledge of this topic than I do.
Well, I was born in 95.
That don't matter. That don't matter.
That's so depressing.
I know Buddy Holly songs.
I already had a high school diploma then.
So, Ben, just double checking. We need the song, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
I already warned you I was terrible at music, Chris.
Yeah, I'm not helping you out much. In music, I usually do pretty well. But I'm not helping.
All right, I guess we can lock that in, Taylor.
Okay.
All right, we're locked in.
Okay. I don't have a song title.
Yeah,
we're making stuff up.
Okay. He's like, I don't care anymore.
Oh, all right. According to the International System of Units, power is measured in joules of second, also known as what term? Rob and Chris, what did you say?
We said watts.
What?
What?
All right, Jonathan and Taylor.
Taylor.
Also went with what?
Okay. The Starz TV series Power features a recurring role from what Grammy-winning artist? Jonathan and Taylor, what did you say?
50 Cent.
50 Cent. Rob and Chris, what did you say?
We said Beyonce.
We threw a dart at the dartboard and it came up Beyonce.
Okay. And finally, the song "I Got the Power" was released in 1989, got to number 2 in 90. What was the number 1 song at the time? Rob and Chris, what did you say?
We said Mariah Carey Love Song.
Okay. Jonathan and Taylor.
Oh, we wanted to be right so bad. We both think Mariah Carey's right. I did point out that her Christmas song, I think, hit number 1 for a week last year or the year before in this decade. And we don't know Mariah Carey well enough to be sure about what her first hit was. Oh, Taylor, I was throwing out things like, is Fantasy a song? Fantasy Lover? Something about clouds or rainbows and then I came up with this name of a song called Dream Lover, which I think is a real Mariah Carey song, but Taylor thinks that was too late. And she suggested Vision of Love was the name of the first album and was a hit song from that album. And so we went with Vision of Love.
Okay. Here are your answers. Power is measured in joules of second, also known as watts.
What?
Starz TV series Power features a recurring role from co-creator Carter's 50 Cent Jackson.
Nice.
And I have to say it again. The song "I Got the Power" reached number 2 in 1990. The number 1 song was Mariah Carey's debut single. What you got wrong there was that the name of the album was just Mariah Carey. However, the debut single was Vision of Love.
Oh
my God.
Taylor!
Yes!
Oh, it's
All right,
so
Taylor.
great. The drama is taken out of it because we were winning and we got the gauntlet right. It is so gratifying when somebody performs so well to see them also hit the gauntlet and not let it slip away on a wagering situation. That feels so good. Oh, Taylor, our wager.
Do you guys have a Hall of Fame?
Right? This
need to
was a
establish
great performance.
Taylor, that's awesome.
Way to go, Taylor. Great game.
Our wager was 113, so we finished with 277. We did go for the lockout. What did you guys wager?
In hindsight, we actually bet kind of what we needed to bet. We bet 53, just banking on us getting it right and you not. But nice job. Big thumbs up. You guys did great.
So
Thanks, Mom and Dad,
let me
for
do a little
listening
bit
to
of quick
Mariah.
math here.
Should be 85.
Yep.
80. Thank you. All right, with a final score of 277 to 85, your winners are Taylor Ferebee and Jonathan Oakes. That was a great game. That was Ben. That was one of your that stands out as an exceptional game for you as a host.
Oh, appreciate that.
That was a really, really good game.
A lot of these questions were things
really
I've
fun
asked in
game.
the past, like 4+ years ago.
Yeah.
So I know they're good questions.
Reaching into the well.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, before we go, we like to give everybody a chance to do shout-outs and promote causes that they care about. Taylor, we'll start with you.
Yeah, first want to shout out to my mom and dad. We started listening to Trivial Warfare probably at episode 30, driving across Virginia to see my brother go to med school. So it was a great time, and it still is. And these days, we are filming during Black History Month, and as a Black scientist and the daughter of two Black scientists and engineer, please support your Black-owned businesses and the studies of people in math and science. Kids are natural-born scientists, so please foster that.
Outstanding.
Totally agree.
And I do want to point out, she said she was born in 95, right? Episode 30 would have been in 2015. So you were 20 on that road trip and getting introduced to our crazy stuff for the first time.
Indeed.
That's awesome. All right. Rob, you had one of the greatest 6 rounds I've ever seen. So go ahead.
No, first, thanks for having me on the show. It's always a fun time to come play with you guys. Thanks to Chris. First thing I want to say is, if you're not a Patreon member, like Jonathan said earlier in the show, support the show. It's what helps keep it going. So all of us fellow Patreon members would appreciate it too. And then lastly, I want to give a shout out to my old trivia team in Louisville, Kentucky, Killer Amoeba. Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of our captain dying, Rick Condon. He was a lover of trivia. He was a lover of bringing people together. And he really was a lifelong learner. And as much as he loved us and he loved trivia, he loved his daughter Erin and his partner Joanna more. And so I played today in his memory and in their honor. I know that they try to get out as often as they can, even though I'm not there anymore. But we miss them every day, and best of luck, and keep on pushing Killer Amoeba. So
outstanding. That's beautiful. Thank you. All right, Chris. Sorry, you got to follow that up.
No question. Well, I just want to say thanks for having me on. This was an absolute gas, and I look forward to hopefully sometime down the line being able to do it again. And I will forever be able to say I was there when Taylor did the Taylor thing. I guess my hope is I ran across a baseball cap that I wear sometimes, and it just says think. Every time I wear it, it's kind of a profound thing. Think about what you're doing. Think about other people. Think about what you can do to make whatever situation you're in a little bit better. Because I think we'd all be kind of better people if just for a minute as we go about our day, if we just stop to think. But thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. This was a tremendous game. And I tell you, having been in studio with me, it always is a different level of energy. It's a different level of engagement, and it makes the show so much more fun when we're here together.
Absolutely.
It's great. So I want to call that out. All right, well, that's going to wrap us up, guys. So For Chris, for Rob, for Taylor, and for Ben, my name's Jonathan. This has been episode number 362 of Trivial Warfare, where it's not just trivia, it's war. Bye, everybody.
Later.
Thanks for listening to Trivial Warfare. Be sure to check out the revamped TrivialWarfare.com as your one-stop shop to submit questions, join the community, and get access to over 150 archived episodes. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. For help with your podcast, visit ProPodcastingServices.com.
Give us this for this question, since it's a 4-part question. Give us 2 more minutes.
Okay.
I think it's only fair for the level of thinking that we're all trying to do.
Yeah. You're the director, so
fair enough. Let's put it on the record. It's a recording. This is what is Trivial Warfare episode number 362. Ben and I just made a wager. An official wager. It's binding because it's in a podcast recording now.
Legally binding.
The wager is Ben likes to joke. Ben's been, unfortunately, my man, been gaining weight a little bit more than he wants to. And he's been joking that he'll never weigh more than me. He can't let that happen. Well, anybody who listens to Talking Fat right now, which is one of my shows that I do with Jen Briney, it's a weight loss podcast. They know that in the last, we started 2, maybe 3 years ago, I guess now. No, a little more than 2 years ago. I started that journey at 439 pounds. And right now I weigh, depending on the day, right in between 325 and 330. So I've lost 110 pounds plus in the last 2 years. So, Ben, you're saying you will not weigh less than me,
right,
or more than me.
Right.
And I think that both of us could do with the motivation of a challenge. And so I threw it out there that I will wager a good steak dinner at like a Ruth's Chris or Morton's or wherever, that at the end of 2022, in fact, let's say on January 1st, 2023,
right,
that I will weigh less than you.
All right.
In order to do this, I will need to lose, you said,
29 pounds.
Roughly, depending on where I was this morning,
right,
somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 to 30 pounds. I have to lose that much more than you,
right,
to finish.
Right.
So I'm counting on you screwing up. I know I'm going to lose 25. I know I'll lose 30 pounds this year at least.
What I know is this: when I show up to your house barefoot with shorts on, no shirt. No, I'm just kidding. I have a shirt on. When I show up to your house and I weigh in at 218 pounds, it's going to hurt your feelings.
Oh, no, it won't. No, it won't, bro. I will be the happiest dude for you, right, and I will gladly buy you dinner.
All right, because that's what I think I'll be then.
Bet. I love it. See, that's the kind of bet that I do love, where both people come out winners.
Yeah, we can totally do that.
All right, let's get on with the second half of today's game.